Magazine. Mary Pat McKee with Indy Boomer Magazine. I'm sitting here this morning with Vince Cantagna. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
All right, very good.
Hey, Mary Pat.
Vince is here. We're going to talk about Social Security for women specifically this morning, but I want to do a couple things before we get to that. The first thing we always like to do is we want to thank Jim Wofford and the Wofford Theater, Hamilton County TV, Hamilton County Radio for allowing us to have the show. And also, by the way, if you are not able to catch the show, we are on the radio, Hamilton County Radio, Monday through Friday at 6:30 p.m. So you can tune in and hear us just as well, or you can get the show on demand as well.
Oh, fantastic. I didn't know that.
Yeah. We're up to 18,000 viewers a month on Hamilton County TV. So that's really quite impressive. Jim has brought this a long, long way. Hey, back to us, though, of course, because it's all about us. Indy Boomer Magazine is out. This is a March issue. That is Larry Bird on the cover. You are welcome to go to indyboomer.com and get your digital version. Starting in May, we will have Donald Davidson on the cover from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and that will be available in all CVS stores in Marion County and some of the surrounding counties.
Fantastic.
We'll have the Boomer, so you can pick it up. But Vince is with us here today. I'm very excited to have him here. He always has great information for us. Vince writes for the Boomer magazine on Social Security. This issue, Vince, was survivor benefits.
On survivors, correct.
Right. But today we want to talk a little bit more about Social Security and women and how it affects maybe women a little bit differently maybe. But before we do that, Vince, tell us, why is Social Security important?
It's really important because for most of us, it's the largest single asset we'll have for retirement. Mm-hmm. And when you make a choice with Social Security, it's basically a one-time choice. So it's real important to take a look at, am I making the right choice when I pick my Social Security? It's the biggest asset. So if you look at, if it pays you $20,000 to $30,000 a year, mm-hmm. and you live 20 years, you're talking about a $600,000, $800,000 asset.
Wow.
It may be the biggest asset most people have for retirement, so that's why it's important.
Well, I think it's very important, and I think it's very true because a lot of time, our folks all had pensions, or a lot of them did.
That's
80% or something ridiculous.
80%. We're down to 17% of companies now only have pensions, so we really become more self-sufficient. We have to take care of ourselves for retirement.
Right. Something I've noticed, normally it seemed like annually I would get a letter in the mail from Social Security that would tell me where I was. I haven't seen one of those lately, or I've missed it. How do you find out your information? Or
and it's a little back. So everybody used to get it, then they completely cut them off.
Did they really?
And then there were a lot of people complaining about that. So now what they do is, once you hit, I believe it's age 40, every 5 years you'll receive it.
Oh, it's every 5 years.
And age 60, you'll get it every year. Mm-hmm. But there's a much quicker, easier ways. If you go to ssa.gov, you can go on and actually set up a username and password.
Okay.
And it'll give you immediately. You have to go through a number of, they have to verify you are who you are.
Right.
But they'll give you your statement right there. So it's real important.
Oh.
Take a look at that. Even if you're 5, 10 years out from retirement right now, you need to take a look at it and check for certain things. One is you want to make sure the earning history, it'll have year by year what you earned. Mm-hmm. That's important for a couple reasons. One is when they figure out your benefit, it's based on your top 35 years of earnings.
Oh, is
so
it?
if you get a year where maybe you earned $50,000 and their record shows 0, one of your top 35 years is going to be 0, which will bring down the average of your benefit. Then you only have a limited number of years that you can actually request that would be fixed. I think it's 5 or 6 years if you catch it within that time.
So statute of limitations.
And then there's a statute of limitations.
Okay.
You want to double check to make sure your Social Security number is correct. You want to make sure the benefits aren't being credited to somebody else.
And that probably happens.
It does happen.
Yeah.
Date of birth. And then the biggest thing from a Social Security or retirement standpoint is to review what your benefits are. It'll show your benefits when you can take benefits first, which is age 62.
Okay.
Your full retirement age will be somewhere between 66 and 67, depending on your date of birth.
Now, when you say full retirement age, do you mean that's when you can get the full benefit?
The full benefit,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then the latest you can take it is at 70. So it'll show 62, 66 full retirement, and then 70.
Okay.
And every year that you wait, that'll go up a minimum of 8% a year.
Okay.
So my suggestion is wait as long as you can, unless for financial reasons or health reasons you need to take it earlier.
Right.
If you wait and you don't do anything different in your earning history, your benefit from age 62 to 70 will double.
Oh,
so
really?
that's a pretty substantial. Now, if you
Yes, it is.
work during those years and make more income than you had in the past, that's going to make that number even more staggering. So you want to take a look at that. And the middle one, the full retirement age, the key on that is from a tax standpoint.
Okay.
If you start taking Social Security before your full retirement age, once you earn any
And full retirement age again is 66
to 67.
Okay.
I think if you were born in 1954 or earlier,
Okay.
it's 66. If you
Okay.
were born 1960 or later, it's 67. And those years in between, they stagger at 2 years every year. So I was born in 56, so mine
Okay.
is I'm 66 and 8 months, I believe, is when I get my full retirement age.
You're going to be 66 in 8 months?
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
that's what my
say,
benefit
You're
is.
looking really good.
Thanks.
You're welcome. No, but that's when it would kick.
Yeah.
I
So,
got you.
so if you
Okay.
if you earn money before full retirement age, for every $2 that you earn over roughly $15,000, you lose one benefit of your Social Security.
Okay.
So if you're earning $50,000 and you kicked in your Social Security benefit, $35,000 is what you made over that 15. They will pull off the table the first $17,000 of your Social Security. So you don't want to. The biggest thing you want to do is want to wait at least till full retirement age. So those are some of the reasons why to go on there and look. And
Okay, let's back up for just a second, and I want to say this a couple different times. What is the website to go to? SS?
SSA for Social Security Administration.
Okay.
.gov. For
.gov.
government.
Oh, that makes
Yeah, for
sense.
government.
SSA, that makes sense. Social Security Administration.gov. So go on there and check it out. Now, after you go on there and check it out, then you should give Vince a call because you've already confused me. I mean, not that you
Yeah.
meant to, but I mean, it's complicated.
Well,
it's very complicated.
We have software that'll do different planning techniques because it's more than just saying I'm going to turn it on now or later. They're actually, if you're a married couple, there's over 500 different strategies as far as claiming techniques and that. So what we do is we sit down with the history of a client when they come in and go through all the different alternatives and what's important in their life. And
Well, I'm guessing. I know we're going to talk about women today, but I bet it's complicated when you have a married couple because they could both have different scenarios.
they can have different scenarios and they can be married and divorced 1 or 2 times. And
Yeah.
so it can get a little bit complicated.
And maybe one should take it before the other one takes it or not, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So it gets very, very complicated. Okay, we want to talk about women and Social Security. Vince helped my sister kind of whittle her way through this process. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll come back in just a few minutes, and then let's talk. Just
Great.
Focus on women and Social Security.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
welcome back. Mary Pat McKee with the Indy Boomer Show. I'm sitting here this morning with Vince Cantagna from, well, what's the name of your company?
Yeah, it's Retirement Counseling Services. And our main focus is helping people with issues on retirement income.
Right. And I knew that, but I wanted you to say it. But the thing that Vince and I work with a lot is the Social Security. Well, actually, he works with it. I just take his information and try and present it to the public. But, I think that's very important. So, Vince, if people want to talk to you, whether it has to do with Social Security or retirement benefits, that kind of thing, how do they get a hold of you?
Okay, the easiest way is our phone is 317-472-9336. And we're located at Keystone at the Crossing. Mm-hmm. And you can get a hold of me via email, and it's Vince, VINCE, CATANIA@LPL.com. And by the way, if somebody's listening to the show today, we are offering a free analysis for anybody who'd like to come in and just have me take a look at their Social Security and tell them what are the different alternatives they have available to them. Okay. So if you just mentioned that you either read my column in Indy Boomers or heard me on radio or TV today, come on in and no obligation, free analysis.
Well, I don't know if you all caught us on the first half of this show, but it's very confusing. Social Security is just not a matter of going in and saying, okay, I want my Social Security now. It's complicated. There's strategies. There's different things that you really need to do. Okay, and this part or this segment of the show, we really wanted to talk about women and Social Security and what are different ways a woman can be eligible for Social Security.
Okay. Yeah, there's actually a number of ways. If you're a single woman, you would qualify as a worker, and that would be basically based on your history or earnings history. Mm-hmm. And to qualify for that, you have to have at least 10 quarters of earnings. So it's basically what
10 quarters of
earnings.
Okay.
And you have to be at least 62 years old. Mm-hmm. And at 62 would be the earliest you could start pulling Social Security. The second way you could qualify as a spousal benefit or a divorced spouse. Okay. And that means when you get to your age, when you start looking at Social Security, you can either take a look at the benefit you would get based on your earnings history, or you qualify for half of what your spouse earns. So let's say
even if you're divorced, you could still get part of their earnings?
Yes. It's based on either one. So let's say if you qualify for $500 a month, but your spouse or ex-spouse has $2,000 a month, you actually qualify for half of that. So $1,000 on his or hers as your spousal benefit is greater than your $500 individual. So then what you'd want to do is take it as the spousal benefit as opposed to your own benefit.
Does that go both ways? Can
Yes.
men do the same?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and we're seeing more cases of that here, where there's been stay-at-home moms.
Right.
And the wife is the one that's gone out and been an executive. So, yeah, it goes either way.
Wow.
It's gender neutral, Social Security.
Okay. Darn. No, I'm just teasing you. But when you say 10 quarters, okay, so to me, that is what? 2.5 years? Is that all?
Yeah, what is that, 4?
There's 4 quarters a year?
Yeah, I guess it would be.
Okay, so, but seriously, I mean, you only have to have worked 2.5 years?
No, I think 10 quarters, I think it's more like 10 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense. Okay, well, tell us more about the women, and so they can either do it as an individual, as a worker, or as with a spouse or a divorced spouse. What else you got?
As a widow. You have a widow benefit.
Yeah.
And actually, as a widow, it could be a widow, or you could be the widow of a divorced partner. So there's really 5 scenarios there. So if you look at on your own, you could start pulling as early as 62.
Okay.
Your spousal benefit could be as early as 62. But if it's a divorce or widow benefit, that starts at age 60. You can actually take it at age 60.
And I bet nobody tells anybody that.
Nobody tells anybody that. But the other thing, too, to take a look at that is it's like, just as you a worker, every year you wait, that benefit goes up greater and greater.
Right.
So if you can financially survive another couple of years, your permanent lifetime benefit will be greater.
Okay.
So it's just taking a look at the numbers.
I know we're talking about this, but let me ask you this real quick. It's 62 right now, and you mentioned this in the first segment, that it changes depending on what year you were born.
Yeah.
Will that 62 someday become 63 or 64?
It may very well. But
it isn't slated that way.
It isn't slated right now.
Okay.
If we take a look at Social Security is fully funded to, I believe, 2027.
Okay.
And then at that point, there's enough money to pay 75% of the benefit.
Okay.
It's not going bankrupt, but there's going to be a shortage of funds.
Right.
So there's a couple things that are going to happen. We haven't had a payroll increase for Social Security since I think the 40s.
Really?
So potentially we could have an increase on our Social Security taxes on our payroll.
Right.
I suspect that they'll probably raise that full retirement age from 67 to 70,
Okay.
and then they'll probably have to reduce some benefits or a combination of any one of those.
But you know, people are living longer.
And that's why it's important for women, because for a lot of women, well, for most women on average, they live longer than the men,
Yes.
but they have less years of earnings. And women tend to be more caretakers.
Right. That's
The
our
kids are
job.
at home; they'll sacrifice their career to stay
Right.
home with the kids, and then maybe sometimes later in life, with their parent or their spouse's parent have medical problems, they tend to be caregivers there.
The
and
sandwich
sacrifice-
generation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what that does is that gives you less years of earnings for Social Security. That's also a double whammy. Is there's less years you put money into a 401k or an IRA.
That's true.
So you have less of a Social Security benefit and less of money on the side. So for women, it's especially important, and they live longer.
Okay. What else can you tell us that women should know about Social Security that's important?
Well, the biggest thing is to go back and check your earnings. That's the number one thing.
Okay,
And that
okay.
you do have other benefit or other opportunities as a widow or a spouse. I actually had a client come in, and she went to Social Security when she was 60. Her husband passed away,
Uh-huh.
and Social Security said she did not qualify as a widow because she was too young.
Because
And-
she was 60?
She was 60. She did qualify, but they told her she didn't.
Wow.
At age 69, she came into my office. We had her go in and get her 69-year-old benefit. And the lady at the Social Security office said, "Why didn't you take widow's benefits at age 60?" And she goes, "I came in here and you told me I didn't qualify." She lost 9 years of benefits.
So she didn't have anything she could do about
The only
that.
recourse is you can go back 6 years. Or 6 months. 6 months.
6
yeah.
months.
So she got 6 months rather than 9 years.
Wow.
And I remind people, when you go to Social Security office, they're not there to give you advice. They're there to give you answers. So you need to go out to somebody
Well,
else.
obviously they're not
advice.
giving very good answers.
Yeah, and it can either be because the person wasn't qualified
Or didn't know.
or didn't
Yeah.
know, or it could be in their own self-interest for the
Wow.
government not to pay it out. So no.
Well, that's some crazy stuff there. Okay, I want people to know a couple different things. One is you're doing a free analysis.
Yeah, for Social Security, about
Okay.
when you
If
should
you
take
have
it.
questions,
Absolutely.
when you should take it. Is that what you're writing for the May issue of Indy Boomer?
For May issue, it's strictly Social Security from a woman's standpoint. A lot of the
Okay,
topics that we
okay.
talked here.
So if you're a woman, and if you're widowed, divorced, well, no, if you're just a woman, you need to pick up Indy Boomer magazine and read. Well, you need to pick it up anyway, but they need to pick it up in addition because they read about Social Security and what's really going to be the best strategy for you. Also, phone number again where they can call you.
It's 317-472-9336.
Okay. Vince, thank you for being on the show again today.
Great. It was
I
always a
appreciate
pleasure.
it. It always goes so fast,
It does
doesn't
go
it?
quick, yeah.
But we'll have Vince on again, and we'll talk about more Social Security another time. Everybody have a great day, and thanks for watching.
Great. Thank you.